The door of our Boston apartment closed with a soft, final sound. I, Ethan, rolled my carry-on bag across the hardwood floor, the wheels announcing my premature arrival from the Chicago conference. The project management summit had wrapped early, and I'd caught a flight I hadn't planned. A spontaneous act intended to surprise Chloe. The surprise was a paper bag in my left hand, holding those expensive lavender honey macarons from the Newberry Street Bakery, the ones she loved but never bought for herself. My heart held the warmer surprise, the image of her face lighting up when she realized I was home a day early. But the light in our bedroom was too bright and the scene was all wrong. Chloe wasn't scrolling through her phone or winding down from work. She was engaged in the hyper-focused activity of packing. Not haphazardly, but with a chilling, methodical precision. Designer clothes were being systematically folded into her expensive leather luggage set, the one her parents bought her for graduation, reserved only for major, significant travel. The macarons felt heavy, forgotten. I stood paralyzed in the doorway. She looked up from wrapping a silk blouse. The brief flash of guilt on her face was instantly extinguished, replaced by the determined, hard mask I knew meant the decision was already finalized. Impervious to discussion or appeal, I knew Chloe was about to deliver news that would change everything. Yet I was utterly unprepared for the sound of her voice. "I'm leaving," she said. "Not for the weekend, permanently." She continued packing as she spoke, her hands moving with efficient, practiced grace. The words came out with the clinical detachment of someone discussing quarterly earnings. She'd been seeing someone else for nearly 6 months. Marcus, a high-end sales manager at a luxury car dealership downtown. They met at a charity gala in March, a night I missed because of a critical work deadline. The subsequent monologue wasn't an explanation. It was a devastating critique. 7 years of what I thought was a genuine partnership were reduced to a series of compromises she was finally ready to correct after settling for less. Our predictable Friday nights playing board, games or watching movies, our focus on saving for an emergency fund and retirement, contributions, it was all embarrassing compared to her friends. Lives of spontaneous weekend trips to Martha's Vineyard and impromptu dinners at exclusive restaurants. Marcus, she explained, drove a BMW and wore expensive watches. He understood the importance of living in the moment and saw weekends as opportunities for adventure, not financial obligations to be managed by someone who lacked vision and spontaneity. My practical Honda Civic, my habit of checking Yelp reviews before booking a table, these were symbols of my inadequacy. Her carefully measured words confirmed the cruel reality. The woman I had planned to propose to next month had moved on months ago. The engagement ring, hidden in my sock drawer, suddenly became a symbol of a future that had only ever existed in my own oblivious imagination. When I desperately suggested couples therapy, she actually laughed, a bitter, hollow sound that echoed the finality of her resolve. The problem wasn't communication. It was incompatibility. No amount of therapy could transform me into the spontaneous, wealthy man who could give her the life she deserved. Her zipper closed with a decisive hiss, a sound that sealed my fate. And then the sound of an engine. She glanced toward the window with a mix of relief and poorly masked guilt. Through the glass, I saw a black luxury SUV pull into the visitor spot. Marcus had arrived. Tall, confident, stepping out of the expensive vehicle with a swagger that instantly made me feel inadequate. Even from 3 floors up, the sight of him confirmed every cutting criticism she had just delivered about my limitations. I was competing in a game I hadn't even known I was playing. One I never had a chance of winning. Chloe grabbed her bags. She walked toward the door. She did not look back. The apartment, once home, instantly felt enormous, empty, and filled with the ghosts of a relationship that had apparently died long before I even realized it was ending. I spent the next week approaching the wreckage of my life with the same methodical precision I used for project management at work. It was a logistical problem requiring logical solutions, not emotional processing. I broke the lease, absorbed the penalty fee, and packed my belongings with military efficiency, donating anything we had shared. My college roommate Sam offered his guest room in Cambridge. The timing felt providential when my supervisor offered a promotion, leading a new sustainable energy project, management division in San Diego. The relocation package offered career advancement, financial independence, and most crucially, geographical, distance from a city that had become synonymous with humiliation and broken promises. I accepted immediately. I bought a one-way ticket to California, treating my geographical escape as the ultimate logistical challenge. As I boarded the plane, watching Boston disappear below the clouds, I felt a sensation I had not experienced in years, the excitement of unknown possibilities. Her betrayal had been a forced liberation. In San Diego, I threw myself into my new role, the demanding work. Leading the project management division became a blessing that kept my mind occupied. Slowly, a new personal life emerged. I started taking surfing, lessons at La Jolla Cove, an activity Chloe had always deemed impractical. I spent weekends in the desert, taking photography workshops, learning to find beauty in solitude and vast empty spaces. Then the messages started in early October. The first came through LinkedIn, disguised as professional networking, asking if I was settling in well. I deleted it, recognizing the attempt to test my boundaries. Sam eventually called with the news. Chloe and Marcus had broken up. He had been dating multiple women simultaneously, treating her exactly the way she had treated me, but with even less consideration. She had been left as suddenly as she had left me. Sam expected gloating or sympathy. I gave him neither. My emotional investment in Chloe's life has completely evaporated, I explained calmly. My focus was on Serena, a marine biologist. I met volunteering at a beach cleanup. Our relationship developed with the natural ease of two people who genuinely enjoyed shared interests: environmental conservation, my work, and outdoor adventures. She asked about my day, because she genuinely wanted to know the answer, not politely listened. While mentally planning her next social media post, Chloe's attempts escalated, moving from aggressive calls from her best friend Jennifer to a pleading, tearful call from her mother Diana, claiming Chloe was in a state of emotional breakdown and desperately needed closure. I was polite but firm. Chloe's emotional state is not my responsibility anymore, I told her mother. To Jennifer, I explained that maturity sometimes meant accepting that some conversations would not change anything, and true closure was something I had to create for myself. With Serena, hiking in Torrey Pines, and working on conservation projects, I finally understood what a genuine, non-negotiated partnership felt like. I looked ahead to the horizon over the Pacific Ocean, realizing that the man Chloe had rejected, the predictable, practical planner, was the very man who had the foresight, stability, and vision to build a life she now seemed desperate to reclaim. I was free, and I was finally building a future that felt right, standing on ground I had laid myself.